Welcome back to New Rockstars. It's me, MT, and Moon Knight Episode 3 introduced the MCU's first grouping of the gods outside of Asgard through the Egyptian Ennead's Council of the Gods. But what was really interesting to note here is that only 5 of the available 9 gods on the council even bothered to show up. I mean, what the hell, man? Was moving the freaking moon in front of the sun not enough to get 4 missing lazy avatars out of bed to vote on the potential fate of the Earth's moon god Khonshu? Well, what if I told you that with Thor Love and Thunder's Gorr the God Butcher coming on the scene real soon, that these missing gods in the council could have been butchered? A high accusation, I know, but let's speculate on how this could be the case, my nerd babies. But before we continue, hit up newrockstarsmerch.com so that you can get a new Moon Knight inspired shirt from our latest obsession line of shirts. And the design is super cool, so please hit up newrockstarsmerch.com so that you can get this shirt. Now, when Mark's trial in the Great Pyramid of Giza's glamorously godly conference room first begins, Hathor, the Egyptian goddess of love and music, calls attendance.
In attendance, Horus, Isis, Tefnut, Osiris, and Hathor, to hear the account of Khonshu.
Hathor, Osiris, Tefnut, Isis, and Horus. I thought this was a Great Pyramid of Giza, not an opening day Morbius screening. Got him! But here's the thing, the MCU version of the Egyptian Council of the Gods is a lot different than the real world Ennead, which is comprised of Adam, the god of the sun and creation, Shu, the god of the air, Tefnut, the goddess of moisture and rainfall, Geb, the god of the earth, Nut, the goddess of the stars, Osiris, the god of the underworld, Isis, the goddess of healing and magic, Nephthys, the goddess of night, and Set, the god of chaos. But in the MCU, the Ennead includes Hathor and Horus, so it's impossible to really tell who exactly is missing from this lineup. However, from previous episodes of Moon Knight, we get to see hints as to who could be on the Ennead in the MCU, mainly through that museum poster that Steve points out to his boss, and through that book on the Ennead that Steve Grant reads to try to keep himself awake. Because there we see that Osiris, Horus, Isis, Adam, Tefnut, Shu, Hathor, and Geb make the cut in the MCU. But what's important to note here on this page that Steve Grant is reading is this event referred to as the Great Rift, God's turn away from man, which is of course episode 1's way of teasing episode 3's revelation that the Egyptian gods of Earth left humanity after they felt humanity abandoned worship of them. So, this being said, with Thor Love and Thunder confirming that the gods of the MCU universe have a serial killer hunting them down in the form of Christian Bale's Gorr the God Butcher, these empty seats could be Marvel Studios' way of teasing the cosmic carnage to come by implying that these 4 empty seats, 3 of which presumably belong to the gods Adam, Geb, and Shu, are empty because they done got gutted by a gray-faced Gorr with some god grievances. Specifically, the grievances of the gods abandoning mortals when they need them most, something that even Khonshu himself chastises the Egyptian board of directors about when Khonshu accuses them of trading in their compassion to live in opulence in the overvoid.
I was banished for not abandoning humanity unlike the rest of you.
We have not abandoned humanity. They abandoned us. We simply trust our avatars to carry out our purposes without calling undue attention to ourselves. Not like some of us.
Avatars are not enough! We need the might of gods! Return from the opulence of the overvoid before you lose this realm!
With the overvoid, of course, being Marvel's name for the celestial Heliopolis, the extra-dimensional hangout spot of a home that all the gods who don't want to get their white Nikes dirty helping a human in need live in. You know, just watching mortals suffer like those creepy, rich VIPs from Squid Game. Because in the comics, Gorr becomes a god butcher mainly because he gets super pissed when he discovers the gods actually existed the entire time everybody he loved and cared about, including his wife and child, died from horrible conditions on his home planet. Like literally a good guy god fighting an evil god named Null, who ends up being the father of all the symbiotes, really, really bad guy, crash in front of Gorr, and Gorr is like, gods exist? What were you doing up there all this time? My wife and children are dead. And then decided to use Null's sword, all black, the Necro Sword, to kill the good guy god in his anger and rage, starting his new lifelong mission of butchering all the gods of the universe who view the suffering of mortals to be above their care, which is, you know, I sort of get where he's coming from, but, you know, murder is never the answer. And I'm sure MCU Gorr the God Butcher is going to be just as pissed as his comic book counterpart, especially considering that the Eternals film revealed to us that every single planet in the MCU universe that houses sentient life are actually just eggs to birth Celestials, and that the Eternals have been spending countless eons helping the Celestials protect life in the universe just for the sake of increasing their own ranks. Something that absolutely could not happen without the acknowledgement and consent of the supposedly almighty, benevolent gods. I mean, Odin was the freaking Allfather in charge of the protection of all 9 realms after all. Who possessed the ultimate peeping Tom and Heimdall, who could actually see all 10 million souls of everyone in the universe? That wasn't a dark elf or, you know, sometimes the frost giants. Kind of weird, isn't that? But that's a story for another day. The gods cannot claim ignorance toward these incessant acts of genocide that have been happening for billions of years, especially when we as the audience know just how well they've been living in Asgard, just enjoying the spoils and benefits of Odin and Hela's long and bloody campaign to bring the 9 realms under their reign by force. That they were living too good. And with Gorr on the loose, this could explain why the MCU Ennead has a lineup that is drastically different to the real life and even the comics Ennead. Like, this Ennead council may have had to switch up the gods which appeared on the council as their numbers continue to thin. Or maybe, just maybe, there are some gods in hiding who are too scared to show their faces or even their avatars' faces for fear of getting got by Gorr. But hey, speaking of this Great Rift event from Stephen's library book, though it seems to be only referring to the Egyptian gods as this is an Egyptian god book, the Great Rift of gods turning away from man could have actually been a global or even universal decision for all the gods. Like the one that was made in the comics in Thor number 300, when all the gods from all the different religions all teamed up to jump the Celestials, and then the Celestials were like, we're not doing that, and threatened to destroy every single one of Earth's pantheons if the gods ever interfered with their plans for humanity again. Like, they literally threatened to burn Asgard down. They're like, hey, we'll do it. We won't even think about it. So though it may seem like they were being kind of harsh on Khonshu for messing with the moon in the sky, they might have been quick to imprison him because they feared the wrath of the Celestials. And also possibly because Khonshu just makes too much noise with his, you know, also always walking around Earth and having a avatar that kicks people's butts on Earth. And they're all trying to stay off of Gorr's radar completely. Because you gotta remember, when you're a god, there isn't much that can kill you. So when these gods find out that they're not actually on the top of the food chain because predators like Gorr the God Butcher and entities like Erisham the Judge and the rest of the Celestials exist, probably going to want to hide with your homies in the Overvoid to avoid being unemployed by an annoyed anthropoid enjoying his all-black murder toy from the void, because, you know, you kind of don't have a choice. But that is how I think Moon Knight Episode 3 teases the coming of Gorr the God Butcher in Thor Love and Thunder. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think there's another reason why those 4 seats could have been empty? Let us know in the comment section below. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. You can follow me at MasterTainment on Twitter if you want to see me tweet some weird shit. But most importantly, follow New Rockstars wherever we are on social media. And when you do, make sure you hit that bell so you can get notifications every time we upload a video. And again, please do not forget to pick up our latest obsession Moon Knight shirt, because it's not going to last forever. And the design is literally my favorite shirt design that I've seen ever since I've been here. So buy that before it runs out ASAP. But again, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you guys so much, so much. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.